Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 21 of the Diversey BW Hotelier GM Show Season 2. This is our very special Odisha and Jharkhand show, completely focused on these two beautiful states which do not get too much of visibility when it comes to various platforms. But we've taken it on ourselves to go to locations where nobody has been and bring the spotlight on them, bring the focus on them, and lift and show all the talent that is there. The topic for the show today is East India's Hospitality Odyssey, Confronting and Conquering Operational Challenges. I have a great panel over here. I have some brilliant general managers who are doing some outstanding work. But before I introduce them, let me showcase my partner for the show, Diversey. This episode 21 of the current series is after a break of over 6 weeks. We've taken off to focus on the BW Hotelier Indian Hospitality Summit and Awards, the IHA 2023, which is exceptional. Exceptional in scale, exceptional in content, be it what we discussed, the speakers. We had some of the finest CXOs from all over the world, ones who lead this industry. If you haven't watched it live, you can go ahead and watch the recordings at bwhotelier.com or across our social platforms. Like I've always introduced our show, this show is held twice a week, every Thursday and Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. I'm sure you blocked your time. We webcast it over our social media and bwhotelier.com. Watch there, follow us, encourage us, and support us. Support us. Us over here is not bwhotelier.com. It's the industry. All right. Now, the show today, like I said, the topic is East India's Hospitality Odyssey, Confronting and Conquering Operational Challenges. Let me bring in the speakers over here. I begin with Sanjeeb Pattnaik. Welcome to the show, Sanjeeb.
Namaskar, Mr. Khanna. It's an honor and privilege to be on the part of this show. Thank you so much.
Such a pleasure. Next in is Samir Ghose. He's the General Manager of the Welcomhotel, Bhubaneswar. Welcome to the show, Samir.
Good evening. Thank you so much for calling.
Pleasure. Next in is Abhishek Kumar Bairagi. He's the Regional General Manager and Hotel GM of the Lemon Tree Premier in Bhubaneswar.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me on the show. Thank you.
Next in is Hemant Mehta, is the General Manager of Radisson Blue Hotel Ranchi. Welcome to the show, Hemant.
Good evening, Mr. Khanna. Good evening, my colleagues, and thank you for having me on the show.
Pleasure. Next in is Jalpreet Singh Sodhi. He's the General Manager of the Crown IHCL SeleQtions in Bhubaneswar. Imagine somebody from Punjab who lives in Delhi going and managing a set in Bhubaneswar. Excellent. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr.
Jalpreet.
Thank you, Mr. Khanna. Thank you for bringing me on the board.
Pleasure. Pleasure's ours. We're honored to have you all gentlemen share your views with the fraternity. Briefly about the show. For this engaging episode of the BW Hotelier Virtual GM Series Season 2, today our spotlight, like I said, is on East India's Hospitality Odyssey, Confronting and Conquering and Operational Challenges. The session brings together accomplished hotel general managers who are in front of you with a particular focus on Odisha and Jharkhand. Today, we will also delve into the unique challenges, innovative solutions, and promising prospects that define hospitality landscape in these regions. So without much ado, let's get rolling with the first question. And Sanjeev, if I may roll in with you, Odisha's got a huge coastal line, right? And it's a paradise. I mean, you Gopalpur, Paradip, Puri, the list is long. Or you get inshore, Bhubaneswar, Cuttack, and Rourkela, you're all over. So let's discuss the potential of Odisha's coastline for tourism. In your own words, you're somebody who belongs to Odisha, who's done long years over there. So why don't you set the context to the show?
Yes, Mr. Khanna. Actually, Odisha adorns a plethora of pristine beaches. The coastline runs about 482 kilometers, starting from Balasore to the Ganjam, and have the best of the beaches, an ideal retreat for beach lovers. And it offers a lot of, engaging activities beach tourism, sports, beach sports, everything. And probably the best of the beaches like Puri, where it is called as the Golden Beach. Orissa has also the beach where you can see the red crabs, you can see the hatching of the olive ridley turtles, everything. You get handicrafts, you get beach, you get your foods by the beach where in Puri runs a long coastline. So, it offers everything. From the adventure till the cultural explorations, spiritual journey, everything it has, right, in Orissa.
Excellent. So tell me, if one was to talk about, also right down south lies Andhra Pradesh, right? So it all just flows in. So there is
Yes.
more to the beaches than just beach tourism. There's also spirituality sitting over there.
We look at Puri. Puri is absolutely Puri. People go for two things. It is the Lord Jagannath, one of the Dhams, and the beach. And probably the beach in Puri is the best. And that's why the two things that is there in Puri. And with the Puri beach, it comes the handicrafts. Yes, of course, Puri beach doesn't offer you have the kind of the sports tourism, but sports activities. But right now, if you look at it, besides closer to Puri is the Ramchandi beach and the Chandrabhaga beach. And probably Chandrabhaga is the best beach where you can have the early morning sunrise. In the Ramchandi beach, you have your sports, water sports activities. Then down south, if you go, you have got Gopalpur. Gopalpur is very good. Closer to that is Patisonapur, and the beach which is near the Rushikulia River, where you see the hatching of the olive ridley turtles, which is a very rare sight actually.
And not to forget about your namesake, Mr. Pattnaik, who does the sand art.
Yeah, Mr. Sudarshan Pattnaik, Mr. Sudarshan Pattnaik, he does every day in the Puri Sea Beach.
Yeah.
That is something.
He holds a few global records too.
Absolutely. And then you know what? Right now the government of Orissa is also in every December is hosting the International Sandal Festival in the alongside the beaches of the Konark. And then slowly the government of Orissa is promoting with the ecotourism. So right now that ecotourism in Konark, in Patisonpur. So things are going great. So
Excellent.
and if someone really looks at it, from Talsarai till your Chandipur, and then down comes Puri, Chandrabhaga, Puri, Gopalpur, Patisonpur. It has got pristine beaches which offers you the best of tourism activities, and it's an heaven. You can say that you get both if you have a sandbar beside the beach. You get both vitamin D as well as vitamin C. Not C, it is SCSC, rather, I can say that.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, Sanjeev. Let me now come into the man from ITC, right? ITC, if it if it is about sustainability and ITC has a natural link to it, they are leading the industry. So, Samir, tell me about the role of sustainability in East India's hospitality industry, and how do you see it with the lens of ITC?
Start with, as you rightly mentioned, Mr. Khanna, I think we are the largest hotel chain with, 22 LEED Platinum hotels. We are being, zero carbon certified, zero water certified. Those are the achievements as a company we are already done. And that's how we progress and handle all our own hotels at least.
Yeah.
And the plethora of knowledge which lies with ITC with regards to sustainability is very high. I mean, this has become, a part of our DNA, part of our culture to understand and do these things. So even while we are constructing the hotel, from that time itself, it becomes a part of the plan. So obviously our luxury hotels, there are more initiatives taken, but even the welcome hotels are not anywhere far behind. I mean, even if I talk about Welcomhotel Bhubaneswar, we can talk about energy efficiency, which we are talking about, the water efficiency, our STP plants, which is there in place, the rainwater harvesting, all those things. It's not something which we work on later, but even when we are constructing hotel itself. Even from a guideline perspective, we try to guide or manage properties in that angle wherever possible and help them to move towards it. I think overall as an industry, as you rightly mentioned, we might be leading, but there are other hotels also working towards that direction. Because in today's generation is far more well-informed and far well aware of sustainability than what it used to be 20 years back or 40 years back. So it is not a buy-in factor, but it's definitely something which remains in the consumer's mind who are well aware. And keeping in mind today's awareness programs, which probably starts in schools and flows on to even social media, people are aware of these things. So you really can't run away from it. So like we talk about our luxury hotels as being responsible luxury. I mean, obviously we can't take the luxury quotient out of a 5-star deluxe hotel, of a luxury hotel, but we do it in a responsible manner. So from that perspective, yes, I mean, as far as, before we talk about sustainability in this part of the country, I mean, I think overall a number of brands, probably luxury brands and even 5-star brands, I think there's still a larger amount of opportunity. I mean, if we probably take away, if you take Calcutta out of the equation, if you talk about smaller cities, I think there's still scope of much larger hospitality presence than what we see here today.
True. Brands
are coming in, brands are foraying in, but I think the overall economy has to develop even further more. I mean, I've been in Bhubaneswar now for the last 3 years. It's a wonderful and amazing city, but there probably needs to be more business happening. We probably need to see some inflow of more luxury brands, and it's even from a cost perspective. Obviously, it also makes a lot of difference. If it's a luxury brand, to ensure that we are able to enable sustainability to a greater extent. Because the imprint on a person's mind and a consumer's mind and an onlooker's mind is far more when we see in a luxurious environment, we are still making efforts and achieving sustainability. I think once that starts coming in, we will probably see a better influx of sustainability happening in Eastern India than what we're seeing today. And but yes, I think overall we are in the right direction as an industry. And we are moving towards it. And I'm sure with years to come, with more infrastructure, more business growth and more hotels and brands coming in, we will be seeing more movement in a positive direction on this matter.
Excellent. Yeah, well put. But also, like you said, taking away from what you mentioned, the current generation and the coming generations are far more aware and conscious about how to handle the environment. They are very conscious and they don't mind speaking their mind.
Right.
But having said that, the generations before us, they didn't have these issues, right? We weren't abusing the environment like has been done over the last 25, 30 years, right?
Now, I know, I mean, on a very, very off topic, if one might say, I mean, if I go back to my younger days, I mean, carrying a jute bag, which used to be used by generations in the past,
True.
was looked down upon, and it wasn't a fancy thing to do.
Yes.
And carrying a plastic was that you're the in thing and you're the cool person.
Yeah.
And how tables have changed in the last 30, 35 years.
We didn't know. We didn't know what was.
And today we completely look down upon somebody using plastic. I mean, something which was
Absolutely
looked down upon today and what was cool, it has just I mean, tables have turned and things have just become vice versa.
True. So Abhishek, can if I come to you?
Yes.
So let's, Abhishek, talk about wellness and spiritual tourism, right? The prospects of wellness and spiritual travel in Odisha, like Puri, I was just mentioning, is huge, right? And not just these. There is so much more to Odisha, if you can detail this in some manner.
Yes, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. Yes, I feel the prospects of both wellness and spirituality is huge in Odisha. So traditionally, you said, eastern part of India has always been ignored for many, many years, whether it is from the perspective of industries to, I mean, hospitality, definitely hotels. Even in Odisha, if you see for the past 3 years or 5 years, is when the hotel chains have now started coming in and, opening hotels here. So I feel there is a huge, opportunity. Spiritual tourism, yes. You've got the Jagannath temple here, one of the Char Dhams of Hindu religion. And there is a massive influx of people, especially during the Rath Yatra or any day. I mean, you can never find that place empty, and whether it is in the night, whether it is early morning. So I mean, plus Bhubaneswar, Puri, these cities have, together I think more than 600 temples. So it's the temple city of the country. It's got the maximum number of temples here, and right from the Konark temple to the Jagannath temple to the Lingaraj temple, all of them have great value in people who come down visit them. Plus, Odisha also has a lot of Buddhism impact, because there are places in Odisha like Ratnagiri, like Dholi, which have a lot of Buddhist sculptures, etc. The history is there. You go there, and you feel it's like the stupa built built for Buddhism. So yes, I feel there is a huge scope, and a lot of people that we've seen over the past 2.5 years that we've opened, that come down from West Bengal or Andhra Pradesh majorly. But having said that, Maharashtra, Gujarat are also markets that come into Orissa for the spiritual tourism. So yes, there's a huge potential.
Wellness पे कुछ बोलना चाहोगे?
Wellness, yes, it can be developed. I think there is a lot that we can do. The government recently in the Odisha conclave last year has laid down a roadmap. They want to make it into a yoga and a wellness destination. But I think there is a lot to be done. Like Sanjeeb was saying, since we've got over 450 kilometers of beach space, I'm sure it will get developed, but it's a lot of work to happen on that front.
Excellent. So thank you, Abhishek.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So Jalpreet, if I may come to you, given the kind of facilities that are there and the opportunities on Odisha, typically Bhubaneswar. By the way, I have some connection with the name of your capital, Bhubaneswar, right? So I'm the only unique one who has a city after my first name and a city after my second name, right? Khanna. Where Khanna, by the way, is a town in Punjab. So, मेरे को ये बताओ, Jalpreet, why don't you explore the possibilities of MICE and event stroke export tourism as an opportunity for Odisha? You know, you guys are sitting on fantastic properties. Anybody who has not been to Odisha, please move it up. If not already on your bucket list, move it up, right? And be there.
Mr. Khanna, thank you first so much to invite me and have me on the panel.
Pleasure,
So-
pleasure.
So Odisha always has been a very dominating part on certain very clear aspects like tribal culture, beaches, pilgrimage, which has always been a very clear connect with Odisha. This is a very traditional part which we are speaking about. And then came the new industries which Bhubaneswar is being host of, that which is IT, mining, sports, health, which is also playing a very larger role in the MICE segmentation. So when we speak about MICE, majorly in Odisha evolves around Bhubaneswar, Puri, and another destination which comes to my mind is Gopalpur, which already is evolving and coming with new brands one after one to become one of the destination in Odisha. So Bhubaneswar as a city hosts somewhere around 1,000 rooms, branded rooms, which can host any kind of large conferencing facilities and kind of MICE, wedding, conferencing events. And parallelly to that, Puri is also looking forward in future, in next 1 to 1.5 years, to have around 800 rooms available in the place, which are branded rooms categories, be it a Taj, which is upcoming, and 100-room hotel, Hyatt, or Swasti, or a Fortune also, which are upcoming hotels in the. So looking at these categories, I think Odisha has a great future in kind of MICE, and that is we all are witnessing as all colleagues of the hospitality industry in Bhubaneswar. In kind of Bhubaneswar, I would say that has around 1,000 rooms available in branded categories, and we all have our own decent size of banqueting, whether that is covered or uncovered banqueting facilities, and majorly playing a key role in the MICE segment of Odisha. I would speak a little bit about IHCL because you have directly spoken that we are opening hotels around the country, I would say that. But in Odisha, we have around 457 rooms altogether, including which is IHCL portfolio. And in Bhubaneswar only, we have around 400 to around 357 rooms, including Vivanta, the Crown, and Ginger. So the portfolio is increasing with upcoming 100 more rooms in Puri, which will have increased the overall presence of IHCL. I think that's a very strong number to be in this trade. And as a Crown IHCL SeleQtions hotel, we particularly are concentrating on MICE segment. We have facilities of both covered and open banqueting, which are around 1,000 square meters. And to back that up, we have beautiful 81 rooms, nicely conceived as per the showcasing the tradition, culture of Odisha, and various art forms which are part of the hotel decor and architecture. I would say that again, coming back to MICE, that MICE is one of the greatest business contributor in Odisha, and this will keep on evolving with time.
Excellent. Good, good. अच्छा मेरे को ये बताओ, उड़ीसा हो गया ना, let me get into Jharkhand. Hemant, so it's your time now. Tell me why, if one was to explore Ranchi and Jharkhand at large, why don't you let us have an overview of this emerging destination in the east of India? You know, because for those who don't know Jharkhand, you've got all the mines, be it steel, coal, right? You've got all the large corporates. I mean, the parental company of Jalpreet,
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
Tatas, they have their own city, right? Apna Jamshedpur.
Jamshedpur. Thank you, sir. I am glad that I'm on your show.
No,
And
it's a
let me tell you,
pleasure.
I've
We're
not missed any
delighted.
of your shows.
I,
And it's always an honor to be a part of this show now. And I've been listening to our panel speakers, and I thought I'm in Orissa only because I've been listening so much about Orissa. And trust me, you will find me in Orissa next month. I'll take out some time, and I definitely need to go and see how Orissa looks like. I come from the western part of the India, so I come from Mumbai, and when I was told I should come to Ranchi, it was a totally different experience for me. Eastern part of India. Although I worked in Calcutta for quite some time, but Ranchi was something which was not explored. So let me begin with it's a very young state. 2000 was the year when a small fraction of Bihar was taken and Jharkhand was formed. So one of the youngest state. Yet in last 23 years, the state has done a lot of good things. By definition, if you ask me what is Jharkhand, Jharkhand means a territory of forest. So it's covered with the floras and faunas, and the capital city being Ranchi. Just 10 kilometers drive on the left or side or left or right of the city you go, and you'll see the lush greenery across the city. It's a beautiful place to be there. But the major attraction, if you ask me, in Jharkhand, people are known, the city is known for two major things. One is your waterfalls, and second is your temples. Now you come to Ranchi, it's a capital city, but 15 kilometers, 30 kilometers, 40 kilometers, you just drive on either sides across the diameter of the city, and you'll find few of the best waterfalls in the country. Whether it is your Dasam Falls or a Jona Falls or a Panchganga Falls. And it's a sight because, somebody like me who's worked east, west, north, south across the country, and when you come to Ranchi, not knowing how the state is all about, and then when you see this hidden jewel, it's surprisingly, I mean, there's so much that the city has to offer. And I had this opportunity of meeting the tourism secretary and the tourism director and all, and they are so much involved in developing the state as a tourist destination. And it's always nice to know that that the government is also involved in developing the state. Now if I go back to the city of Ranchi itself, known for the city itself is known as a city of falls. So other than falls, if you look at the things that you can see in Ranchi by itself, it's become a tourist destination now because this, just take out the small area of 10 kilometers and you move outside Ranchi. As I said, you've got places like your Patratu Falls, and you've got your Jona Falls, and there's so much that a person can do out here. And most of the people that you see here are from the neighboring states. So there is so much that still it is unexplored because it's only in the neighboring states who have realized that there is so much of potential in Ranchi at this point of time. But you go out and you find out that there is more that the state can offer. And talking about I said there are two major attractions. One was the waterfalls, and second, coming to the temple. As my colleagues mentioned about the Puri, the Jagannath temple. You come to Jharkhand and you have one of the 12 Jyotirlingas. You go to the Baba Baitnath, and the number of tourists that you see, as you see what experience you have in Jagannath is the same experience that you'll find in Puri. 365 days, morning, evening, night. You go any time of the day, you will find tourists there from all across the country. So that's one thing which really makes you feel happy that and it's part of the state only once it is separated. And then now you have this beautiful temple out here which is attracting a lot of tourists across India coming out here. But it's not only the Jagannath temple.
What you are forgetting is that Baba Mahendra Singh Dhoni का भी धाम उधर ही है.
Sir, आ रहा हूं मैं उसके ऊपर, sir. I'm coming to Baba Mahendranath Dhoni also, sir. But apart from that, not many people know that you've got a Parasnath temple here. Now, this temple is on the highest mountain of Jharkhand, which is around 4,400 feet above. That above is where the temple is located. And out of the 24 Rishi Munis of the Jains, there are 20 Rishi Munis who have attained Nirvana in this place.
Oh.
So you imagine that the entire community of these Jains, they make sure that once in a lifetime they have to be in they have to visit the Parasnath. And trust me, it's just 1.5 years that I'm here and I was not aware of this. So there's so much that the state offers. And then we spoke about, about Mr. Dhoni, neither me nor any of us will aware that there's a temple called, Devri Mandir. And just a small story attached to it. I mean, people talk about this temple that every time that he used to hit a century or he used to win a match as a captain, you could see his presence pre-match and post-match. So
Oh.
suddenly you see this temple becoming absolutely popular in the state, and everybody wants to visit this temple. And then you do not forget there is a Rajarappa temple, which is one of the Shakti stals. We recently had Mr. Rajnikant coming to Jharkhand, and first thing he did was to go and visit this temple. This also shows the significance of this state, where waterfalls are on one side, the temples are on the other side. But when you introduced me, you spoke about mining, and let's not forget, the state government is very much involved in making the abandoned mines, converting them into a tourist destination. And they keep on asking that, what else can we do about it? Is there any infrastructure that we can develop across the mines? And it feels nice, as a hotelier, that the government is completely backing you. And they are taking the examples of the model of what is happening in Australia, where the mines were abandoned and they've been converted into a tourist destination. And the same thing is happening here. So you go to Bokaro or you go to Dhanbad and all these places, and you see all these mines, and now they've been getting converted into your tourist destinations. One must also not forget that it's a very recent phenomena where the state has been separated from Bihar, but the tribal community out here is also, the culture what they have sustained, and they continue to hold it. It's amazing, the art what they have, the Madhubani paintings or the Sorai paintings, they are world-class paintings. And these are the paintings, when you go and visit these tribal areas, you see this, ladies and this gents sitting in their house, and they are using the natural colors. They are using the natural ingredients in making these paintings. So the city has so much to offer, and it is an untapped market. And I'm so glad that I had this opportunity to talk about Ranchi, talk about Jharkhand, and people would come to know by this that there is a state called Jharkhand out here in the eastern part of the country, and it has got so much to offer. It's not only about one part of the country, but there is another state which is a very youngest state in the country, and then this state is developing with every day that is passing by. So it's a beautiful feeling to be up in this part of the country, sir.
Excellent. So I've given you a couple of extra minutes because you're
Thank you very much. I was overexcited.
No, that's okay. All right. So permit me to take a short commercial break, and I'll be back in the next few seconds. We are delighted to partner with Diversey for this season of the BW Hotelier GM series. They're a very strong brand in their category. They dominate. They dominate the space, not just for hospitality. Hospitality, they're runaway dominants, but they have huge brands. Now, for instance, you saw the video of their brand Tasky, another very stable brand from the Diversey portfolio. So now let me come in over here and move into the final round of this show. And Sanjeeb, if I may come back to you. So आप मेरे को ये बताओ संजीव कि आप give me a brief glimpse if one was to explore Odisha as an emerging destination in the east of India. Odisha has political stability. You have a chief minister who had never stayed in Odisha, who never spoke Odia. He was a Delhi boy, right? But he's been there 20 years. He's doing a lot for the state and the people love him. And he's just not controversial.
If I may say, Odisha is actually onsen, unnoticed and honest truths. You rarely come across a state which is bestowed with a bouquet of, so varied tourism products. You name it and you get it. Like a long, absolutely, as I said earlier, a beautiful coastline, a rich cultural heritage. Absolutely, I mean, the historical monuments, uh, the wildlife tourism, uh, you say, and I mean, the cuisines of Odisha, I mean, is excellent. You talk about the pithas they and the mitha they say, which is quite famous for it. I mean, Bhubaneswar is known as the temple city. Once upon a time, Bhubaneswar had approximately about 700 temples. Now, come to Konark, otherwise known as the Black Pagoda. Anybody who comes to Orissa at least goes on a golden triangle visit that comprises of Bhubaneswar, Puri, and Konark. That's a triangle that is called as the golden triangle of Orissa. So, I mean, uh, it's the temple which is dedicated to the sun god. Now, if we come to Bhubaneswar, you have the Jain caves of Khandagiri and Udaygiri. Orissa has been, if anyone might know about it, when the ancient Kalinga war was fought between the Kalingas and the King Ashoka, and it is besides, the very close proximity to Bhubaneswar, there is a river called as Daya River. The entire river of the Daya has become blood red because of this war. And over there, it's been said that Emperor Ashoka has become from Chandashoka to Dharmashoka. And that's the root and the origin of the Buddhism that spreaded across the far Asian countries. So you have the golden triangle, the diamond triangle that comprises of Lalitgiri, Udaygiri, Ratnagiri, and which was once upon a time the scholar site besides Nalanda in Orissa. Now you come down, Orissa has got about 62 tribes. The tribal tourism has been in prominence for quite some time. Then comes your textile tourism, the tie and dye things, the brass, and you know what? The wildlife. You talk about the Simlipal Tiger Reserve. Nandankanan is famous for the Asiatic white tigers. Chilka Lake, the largest brackish water lake of Orissa, which is famous for the Irrawaddy species of dolphin. And Lord Jagannath, the supreme deities. Anyone comes to Orissa, the Char Dham completes with the darshan of Lord Jagannath. So you got everything. Actually, it is unexplored. Exploring Orissa, if somebody was to really promote Orissa and do a real sightseeing trip, you name anything. You don't have to go anywhere out. You can get everything. And the mouth-watering delicacies is definitely so popular that anybody wants to come. The thali that we offer has got an nth number of dishes that can be released upon. Orissa, as we have discussed, is really going up with a popular MICE destination as well as the wedding destination. Slowly, Orissa is becoming growing with the wedding destination. Comes to Bhubaneswar, to Puri, to Gopalpur. The wedding the wedding tourism is gaining momentum in Orissa.
So what you forget is like badminton is to Telangana.
Hockey is to Orissa.
It's become the cradle and nursery of badminton.
Yes. The sports tourism like we had.
Not long ago, which all of you would know, Sansarpur near Jalandhar was the cradle of hockey. Right? The talent came from there. Now, with the support of the Odisha government and the chief minister, hockey is in the right place.
Yes, absolutely. We have hosted 2 world championships, and Bhubaneswar has got a world-class hockey stadium. And right now, the number of hotels that are coming, and we are offering the world-class accommodation to the hockey players. So Orissa is slowly growing as a sports destination also.
There you are. So now, thank you, Sanjeeb. That's a great response. Let me come with you, Samir, if I may. let's talk specifically about operational challenges, right? If we can understand the specific challenges that hoteliers face across Odisha, particularly the region, why don't we hear it from you?
I think, probably before touching the operational challenges of Orissa, I think the industry itself has gone for a sea change with operational challenges in the last few years. I mean, I think we had been used to a particular way of operating last few decades. And then came the pandemic. And during the pandemic, we really changed the way we were operating. Our operating standards changed across all hotels, definitely in India. And then came the post-pandemic scenario where customer expectations changed. The way we were operating and serving guests during pandemic, that changed, and the new normal came into being. So while this was happening as far as the industry and the operational perspective, the biggest factor which makes a difference to us, and I'm sure my fellow panelists will agree, in our industry, the main criteria or main point which makes a difference in how the operations will be run is the manpower and the manning. That's what drives all of us.
Yeah.
If that's in place, we are able to deliver all our targets. We are able to serve our guests. We are able to do what, as leaders of our own hotels, are supposed to do. Now, post-pandemic, I think the opportunities for the people from the industry, moving off the industry, has also increased. So we do see a lot of churning all across the country on this. And probably if you ask any panelist across anywhere, we may get a similar answer. So just setting the premise before I think we hit on the operational challenges of the region.
Yeah.
Now, when you're in a larger city, in a metro city, though the churning out is easier, and the quality of manpower is also much easier to find. In a little smaller cities like us, or maybe even Ranchi, you'll probably have a similar kind of challenges, where sourcing of the correct quality manpower and the correct adequate number of manpower becomes a challenge. So, and then of course the retention game starts. Because even, I was having an interaction with, few Pattnaik colleges. Even at the college level itself, they are contemplating what other industries can be an option. So I think therein lies a problem or a challenging statement which all of us are dealing with. And I think each one of us are probably working in a creative manner how we can communicate to the younger generation the passion and the excitement with which we work in the industry. I think most of the people in the panel would have worked for a few decades. And we do so because we love what we do.
True.
And that is the vibe, and that is the tuning probably once we are able to connect with the current generation and who would like to move in the industry and stay back in the industry to make a great career, will really help us take our operational efficiency to the next level where we are supposed to be in the current generation. Another thing, I think, what the youngsters look for, as far as, again, manning. I'm talking about manning because I think that's what leads to our operations. They get more excitement in probably a metropolitan city to move around and engage outside the hoteliering life. While our cities like Bhubaneswar or Ranchi or any other similar city are developing, maybe those kind of engagement forums also, as it expands, will help on better attraction to the talents who look for more engagement outside their work. Because I think compared to our previous generations, when we started hoteliering to the current generation of budding hoteliers, they look for a lot of other factors which do add on to their performance and delivery rather than what they are doing inside the hotel. So I think a combination of these things, able to connect with the current generation, the current pull, making them see and believe the passion which we feel while running a hotel, serving the guests, delivering the quality, delivering the service. Once all these things come in and patch through, I think which will help us for better operational efficiency and excellence. And I'm sure each one of us are working towards that direction in our own manner. And we will to sustain. And as the cities develop more, those connects and those threads connecting each other will also become better.
Speak about the unique cultural, historical, and natural attractions of Odisha, and how does Lemon Tree plan to exploit some of them, and what is your positioning, as a hotel, as a brand,
So,
within the capital?
So yes, like Sanjeev has covered most of the points about Odisha, whether it is the places that are close to the beach or the temples or even the Nandankanan Zoo, etc. So there are a lot of wide variety of things that people can do. So if you are here for spiritual this thing, you can go to the temples. If you are here to go to the beach, there are lots of beaches that you can go to, like the ones mentioned, Gopalpur, Puri, etc. When it comes to again for the kids, especially Nandankanan Zoo, etc. are there now. They've started a lot of beach sports also. So a lot of wide variety of things that people can do, and people come here for both. We've got a segment that travels for leisure, that segment that travels for business as well. But whether you're here for business or only for leisure, everybody has uh, that one day that they would definitely go to a Puri Konark visit, and they would want to visit a temple or see the beaches, etc. So yes, we are very much involved in planning out itineraries for them. There are again a lot of places that are not explored. We try and suggest, but it is still very limited to a Puri and a Konark. That is what we've discovered. There are places like Bhitar Kanika and the reserves, etc., which need a lot of more marketing, I think, and a proper process of people going there and proper places to stay. Once that gets developed, these places will also get developed. But yes, we there is a you know very deep historical connect, cultural connect, uh, right from the dance forms of Odyssey to the Sambalpuri dance to the saris available here, etc. Lot of these that are very attractive to people coming from different states or foreigners coming into into the state. So yes, you know, Odisha has a wide variety of things to offer, and I think it will only get better as days progress.
If political stability is a touch point, or may I say a high point, then Odisha stands way taller than anybody else in the country.
Yes,
And that augurs so well. Once you have political stability, then your policies and everything are long term and continual.
and
So I
and so
think
the
that is one
government is very
aspect
focused.
where Odisha ticks all the boxes.
They're very focused on not only tourism but sports in a very big way. So, of course, they're sponsoring the hockey team and their national hockey team and two world championships that
And
happened.
not making noise about it. Huh?
Absolutely, and they're
They're going,
developing.
they're not making claims. वो छाती नहीं ठोक रहे मैंने ये कर दिया. They are going about it. And that is, can you imagine how many people it attracts to this state?
Yes, and it's not only
Directly
limited
and
to hockey, sir.
indirectly.
It's not only limited to hockey. They are developing a world class. They've already opened the world class aquatic center here. Swimming is, had junior championships last year. They are opening a badminton court. We are having the FIFA qualifier next month. So a lot of other sports as well. So
And those who have not been to Bhubaneswar and not discovered it, they will be surprised.
yeah.
People talk about Chandigarh, people talk about few other cities like Gandhinagar and all that. Ones who have not seen Bhubaneswar are not imagine what cleanliness means and what a disciplined and organized city means. Okay, good. So let me come in to you, Jalpreet. You know, life is incomplete without food, right? And food is a huge draw. And people do not realize what culinary delights come from Odisha, right? So, if you can showcase the diverse and delectable cuisines of Odisha, and also there is a fight between West Bengal and Odisha on the Rasagulla. Maybe Sanjeeb can assist you, or the Channapada, which also comes from there, which is really like a
That's more chena poda.
हाँ छेना पोड़ा
Chena poda.
यार वो पंजाबी का pronunciation Samir how is it?
Yeah, Mr. Khanna, yeah, very sweet of you to define Chena Poda and Rasagulla. And but yes, Odia cuisine, Odias are very, very keen about their cuisine, which Sanjeev would agree to this. And I think it evolves around three key points, which I have felt in my current tenure. One is the temple cuisine. Every Odia takes pride in presenting the bhog from the Puri or bhog from the Lingaraj temple. So that's a pride which you come to Bhubaneswar, you come to Odisha, you go to Puri, you should enjoy the bhog. You go to Lingaraj, apart from darshans which you do, you should have the bhog. So bhog is a specific chappan bhog created by very different sect of people who will not go outside, who will be pure before cooking that food. There is a way of presenting it to the Lord, and then there is a way to serve it to us. So that's a whole story altogether, which can continue the whole day, the way they offer. So the temple cuisine in itself is a great cuisine, which Odias love to. We take the step to the non-vegetarian side now, and we all know that Odisha falls on the eastern belt of the sea coast and comes with limitless fishes, prawns from the chilka or the crabs, which are the most famous from. Chilka prawns are one of the most famous in the whole country, which we all, yeah. Chilka is one of the largest lakes in the country and which produces the best of the prawns. So the fish and its in other forms is part of the cuisine at every Odia home, and you feel that when you come in the east side, that how it adds up to the everyday cooking and the tiffin culture which happens at every home. And then we take you to the, which you already stated, that the sweets, which the chana poda or the rasgulla, or there are many others like arisa pitha. Now pithas are very, very peculiar to Odisha, which every local Odia mother will cook for their child of a home in different parts of celebrations. There are pithas, endless types of pithas in which they cook, fry, steam, add a lot of additions to it. So the cuisine is evolving for the country, but if you see as Odia cuisine in its the state, they know the food very well, they love their food very well, and they have their own reasons to serve at their different festivals. So festivals doesn't end in Odisha, it comes one after one. So that's how the number of sweets are. So adding to that, I would also say that being a selection hotel, and we concentrate on hyper-local experiences. This is one thing which we take it forward immediately when we come to the state, and we adapt a lot of culture, a lot of art from that state. So we in our menus also we adapted that menus, that specific dishes. Like a temple cuisine is part of our menu, which we take pride. to serve all of our guests
Oh, very nice.
in our own form. So in our own form, that's an influence which we have took from them, but not the Bhog. Then are those beautiful dishes which I love. I would say that dalma is one of the best full nutrition dish which every Udia loves its own way, and that's a complete meal in itself. You have it with kanika or you have it with a boiled rice, and you're done for the day. So
Oh.
these are dishes which continue the whole day. Come to non-vegetarian, they love their, apart from fishes, they love their meat. So at Udia, a day is never complete without a mutton. Their homemade mutton curry with Ghose is one of the best which they love. So we cannot go wrong with that. Being an hotelier, we cannot go wrong with that. We have to be always right. So I think that's the entire Udia cuisine is. It is evolving around, and we all are loving it. So I take pride every day to have conversations with my guests on Udia cuisine, and
Hello.
that's it. That's what I have spoken also.
Imagine this. I just love it. Brilliant. So, I get that prasad from Puri, which is like that rusk. What do you call it?
So
Khaja.
Khaja. That's
Khaja.
Khaja. Yeah.
Yeah, that is brilliant. It comes packed in those,
Bamboo boxes.
Sanjeeb. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so now we're done with Odisha today. Let me close this with Abhishek. Abhishek, let's talk about Ranchi's natural beauty and spiritual tourism right in Jharkhand. If you can highlight some scenic landscapes and its appeal to the nature enthusiasts and the spiritual traveler to Jharkhand. For example, Deoghar.
The tagline of the Jharkhand tourism, it's called the nature's hidden jewel. And it is so true because most tourist attractions are Jharkhand's, wildlife, the wildlife sanctuaries, national parks, and it has got one of the finest bird sanctuaries. The fauna and of Jharkhand and the extraordinary unique varieties and the diversity is unbelievable. The birds of Jharkhand, not many people are aware of it, are of considerable variety, having almost 200 varieties of the birds, including the rarest of the rarest bird that you will find in India, will you find it in Jharkhand. And not many people know that the climate of the state is so good that once upon a time, it used to be the summer capital for the king of Nepal, and it is still called as the Nepal Bhavan, which is very, very close in the centrally located of Ranchi. So that's how the city is known for, sir.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no, seriously, right from where the hotel is, where Radisson is, it is hardly 5 minutes drive, and we have a place called Nepal Bhavan. And majority of the people staying there, still now you see a lot of people from Nepal staying there. And I think it's just few years back that the tradition has been stopped, but the king of Nepal used to come and stay here as a summer capital. So that's what the state is all about, sir. But when I talk about Jharkhand, it has got a varied topography, unlimited forest, and it is endowed with vast varieties of flora and fauna. There are a number of sanctuaries, national parks, and wildlife reserves. I was seriously not aware that, we talk about tiger reserves, and we talk about Gir, and we talk about, in West Bengal, the Sundarbans and all. But, the Palamu tiger reserves are as good as any of the tiger reserves that we have in the country. Or the Batla National Park, where you have the deers, or the Hazaribagh Sanctuary. And to my surprise, this is the only state where, they have a sanctuary which is called as a Mahuadan wolf sanctuary. And it is known for the wolves, and it is so unique. Not many people have heard about it. So when it comes to the natures and the natural beauty, there's so much that the state can offer, Most of these national parks and sanctuaries are less explored and less popular. But, it seriously deserves to be promoted, and more tourists needs to come here, because I personally feel, this is one state where, which has got everything for everybody, whether it is a religious tourism, whether it is a nature's tourism, whether it is a tribal tourism, there's everything for everybody. We were talking about Devghar, one of the top 12 Jyotirlings. Now, everybody talks about Kedarnath and Badrinath and all these things, but not many people talk about, Baba Dham out here. And suddenly, there is an airport which is inaugurated last year by Mr. Modi. And then the entire Deoghar has been highlighted and it comes into the map. Suddenly it comes to the map of India that there is one Jyotirling that needs to be, one needs to be visited that place also. And once you visit Jyotirling, you go from there few kilometers and you have the Paras now. So whether it is your religious tourism or the entire state, I would say, which is so green, covered with the forest, and yet it is unexplored. It is yet a virgin state. So it's something that we all should talk about it. When we talk about the Eastern India, there is something which is hidden, and that's why the tagline is nature's hidden jewel. I hope that a few years down the line, it should not be called as a hidden jewel, but it should be explored jewel. So that's how I would like to conclude about Ranchi and Jharkhand.
Excellent. I think this is brilliant. That's a great closure to the session. I think we've had a wonderful one, gentlemen. So Odisha and Jharkhand packed into one. If I was to really, before I thank you all, if I was to sum up our discussion today, we think we know everything, but then we are just about skimming the surface, right? We're all looking for business, but looking for responsible business is the key. And Odisha and Jharkhand are two states which can give us so much. Odisha being the older one, in fact, one of the oldest civilizations, has so much to offer. And like I said, Odisha never stops surprising you. They are so low-key, they're so understated, but they are brilliant. I met some fantastic investors and businessmen from Odisha. They don't make any, loud noises. They don't make loud claims. वो बड़ी बात नहीं करते, वो अपना काम करते रहते हैं because they are understated, they are humble. So it's been a wonderful discussion, and you guys are all accomplished general managers. Some of you or most of you are going to be leaders of tomorrow, who are going to lead brands, who are going to lead businesses. So brilliant. And yes, of course, Ranchi. So as key players in East India's hospitality sector, you've demonstrated remarkable resilience and innovation in confronting operational challenges, making these regions increasingly attractive to travelers, right? We hope this conversation inspires collaborative efforts to further enhance East India's hospitality excellence. May you people go places, may your business go places, may your colleagues who are under your tutelage may go places, shine on from here, but keep doing things, thinking out of the box. Thank you for gracing and enriching the BW Hotelier platform, especially the GM show series. Let me know what more I can do for furthering the cause of Odisha and Jharkhand tourism. I'll be more than happy. Before I go away, let me thank the BW Hotelier and BW Businessworld team. They work silently behind the screens, like we said, not behind the curtain, behind the screen, and they do a bit. And also last but not the least, let me thank our partner, Diversey. Thank you, Jalpreet. Thank you, Hemant. Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you, Samir. And thank you, Sanjeeb. Sanjeeb, you lead a very beautiful property. All your properties are good, but I carry some wonderful memories of your property, right? Congratulations, do well. And last but not the least, a very happy Deepavali to you all. Enjoy the Festival of Lights. And ladies and gentlemen, see you for the show tomorrow, Friday, the 10th of November. we will be traveling to the Northeast with another special episode of the BW Hotelier Indian Hospitality, BW Hotelier GMC series episode 22 of this second season. Thank you again. Bye-bye.